Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are under the Astrodome on this great big earth, this great big earth, this dirt, this humongous dirt pile, this soil we call home. Bit Dog, it's good to see you. Anyone else listening in or here right now, thank you for being here. This is Brandon with Geaux Stros. I believe that my first cup of coffee is already prepared, and it is. Let me close my hot water bottle here. I have a little bit of yogurt. I'm going to have a little bit of nutrition before this game gets started. Good thing about this yogurt is that it doesn't require any chewing. Really, it's almost drinkable. You guys don't have to deal with my chewing sounds. Just wanted to get some of this acidophilus into my belly, into my gut. Good thing about today's game is that unless it's another one of those 6-hour ordeals, I will easily be able to go have breakfast if I want. So I don't have to rush. This game, the first pitch is scheduled in about 11 minutes. You can see the time on the screen. It says 5:10 a.m. is the start time for me. But right now, it is 4:59 a.m. So I've got about 10 or 11 minutes before the first pitch is due. I hope everyone is doing all right today. Let's take a little look, shall we, at the Astros lineup for today. Jeremy Pena is leading things off today for the Astros. At shortstop, of course. Isaac Paredes is batting second. At third, in the third position, is Jose Altuve. He will be playing left field today. Christian Walker is batting fourth. At first, as usual. Caratini is batting fifth, and he is the DH for today, as Diaz is batting sixth and catching. Jake Myers is batting seventh in center field. Mauricio Dubon is in right field. That's interesting, but it makes sense with DeCinzo out, Cam Smith out for now. Cam Smith is, I guess he's got some kind of soreness. He's kind of day-to-day right now. If you guys didn't know that, he's kind of on a day-by-day or day-to-day basis. So you shouldn't see him in the game. They're probably giving Melton a break because of his catch yesterday. He made an outstanding catch yesterday, but it probably didn't feel too good. Rogers is batting ninth and at second base. Right now they're talking about the Astros being second in the MLB with outs above average. There's that. They show that catch again by Melton. They're showing a lot of highlights to explain why the Astros are second in all of MLB in outs above average. In other words, making outs that are much harder. It just means that their defense is locked down. It's stellar. Absolutely stellar defense for the Stros. That's the one thing that we have that we can be proud of, is a solid defense. That's for sure. Even though we've had some issues recently with injuries, with the pitchers primarily. We still have an overall pretty solid pitching lineup. Closers are generally solid. Like yesterday. Yesterday was a good example of that. Any comments in the chat right now? Let's take a look. Sergio, how are you today, sir? Sergio says, greetings, Brandon and BitDog, and anyone else joining us today. I appreciate you being here, Sergio. I appreciate everyone being here. We've already got 7 likes on the live stream, 9 people listening in right now. Thanks for being here. Finally got to 400 subs yesterday. Happy about that. Thanks so much. I'm going to blow my nose, so I'm going to mute the microphone just for a moment. Jordan, very funny. Jordan says, howdy, Astro brothers and sisters. It's they, thems. They, thems. And it. I saw a really funny meme post one day where a guy said something about his girlfriend and he referred to her as it. And a woman posted on there, it, don't you mean she? And then he responded, somebody needs to get this one, it's medicine, or something like that. He kept referring to women as it's. It's just a meme, but the response was funny, where a woman replied to it, and then he referred to her, not even directly, he referred about her, he talked about her like she was something to be taken care of, not a person. It was just funny. It reminds me of that right there. It. Brandon sounds sleepy. Yeah, it's 5 in the morning, guys. So maybe the Astros can wake me up. We'll see. Astros commentators are discussing Haterade right now. "17 out of 17 for his saves this season." Hater finally coming along this year and piecing together an argument for the money that we paid him, right? I say we, but in a way, I guess you could say, because I have paid for MLB stuff like this broadcast, watching the channel. It's not free. It costs me money to watch these games. That money goes to MLB. Some of that money is shared with the teams. Then they use that money to pay the salary. So in a way, I do pay for Haterade. I pay a little bit of money for Haterade. I don't mind. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I had my microphone up. I forgot. I was blowing my nose a few minutes ago, so I turned my microphone up because I didn't want to blow you guys out. Your fan was on a timer. I accidentally do that sometimes, Jordan, with my light. This light in my room, it actually has a timer. Several lights in my house, I've updated them, and so they have a remote control. Sometimes I might accidentally press the timer. In my rental house that I had before here, the air conditioner unit also had the timer. I would accidentally turn that on, and after so long it would just shut off. There's this, I can tell you guys something that just happened the past couple of days that I thought was kind of funny. Whenever I was studying Japanese at the language school, of course, out of all of the students there, I was the only Westerner. There were no students from any Western countries. No European, no American, North American, South American. Nobody from any of those places. Just East Asian students, and they were all young. Now, there was one girl, I say girl, she was 35, 36. Not too much younger than me. I'm 50. She was the oldest there, other than me. Everybody else was like between 18 and 25. But I met this one guy who's from Indonesia, and he's a nice guy. I know sometimes he comes in, I think, just to check on me in the live chat, but if you're listening in now, which I don't think he is, I don't know. Well, I don't know. He keeps strange hours. He might be listening in, but if he's listening in, then he can hear what I'm going to say, because I'm going to message him this later anyway. But he sent me a message a couple of days ago asking about, he's thinking about coming to this local city close to where I'm at, and if for some type of event. And he mentioned that it was connected to his religion. And he said if he comes for that event, maybe his schedule allows, we could meet up or something. And I thought, okay, that's fine. But I noticed that he's always involved in the religion stuff. First pitch of the game is coming up in just a moment. Pena is at the plate. Here comes the pitch. High and inside, ball one. One and 0 is the count. Here comes the next pitch to Pena. Ball two. 2-0 to Pena. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Right in there, 89-mile-an-hour cutter, 2 balls and 1 strike. The reason I told you that is because I basically said, you do so many things, or they changed the event or something to another place, and he said, never mind, we're going to go to another city to do the event. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss, 91 miles an hour up and in. The count is even, 2-2. But it just appears to me that literally every single day, a lot of his life is wrapped up around his religious activities. So I mentioned to him, you should just go into religious a religious career because you're always so involved with it. Strike 3, swing and a miss, 87 mile per hour Swiffer. So Pena started off nice, 2-0, but comes back and strike, and one away. One away, that brings up East Sock the ball Paredes. But, so basically he told me there was a religious event, and then they changed it to somewhere else, and then I mentioned foul ball by Paredes, 0-1. Maybe he should go into religious work, because literally every day he's doing religious things. Then he said, oh, this is not even a religious event. But that's what he told me before. I thought so. Ball 1-1. The count is even to Isak Paredes. So if for some reason he's not asleep right now and he happens to be listening in, you can explain to me what I'm missing here. Here's the pitch. Right on the outside edge, strike 2. The cutter is falling in the zone today for Gavin Williams. Isak Paredes has got the excuse me, he's got the shades on today. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, a little high. 2-2. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. What am I missing? I was told that there was some kind of religious event, and then they changed the event to another city, and then I was told it wasn't a religious event. I don't understand. Full count, 3-2. Nine people following along, 8 likes. Thanks for being here. Here comes a full count pitch to Paredes. He grounds that one to the shortstop. Easy grounder. Out number 2. Astros might be making a bid for a typical Astros first inning where they get nothing. But my man Jose Altuve's at the plate, batting .267 right now. But since moving into the third batting position, he's batting .333. Come on, Altuve. Let's get some runs on the board in the first inning. Go after it. Outside. 96 mile an hour fastball. I think that's the fastest one that's been thrown by Williams so far. 1-0. Here comes the toss to Tuve. Ground ball right down the side there. A diving catch by the third baseman. Good hit. But a nice grab by the third baseman. So Altuve will go down with a rocket that almost went through the hole. He almost had a hit. But 3 up and 3 down as per the usual for the Astros. That's typical for the Stros in the first inning. 0-0. Hunter Brown will be on the mound in just a moment, facing Stephen Kwan. A little bit of a change to the Guardians lineup with Kwan leading off in left field, batting .306 for the season. Angel Martinez batting second. And Jose Ramirez batting third. Take a look in the live chat here. Galveston, Texas sends you all a hug. Galveston. Now I can hear you. Yeah, thank you, Jordan. Yeah, I figured it was my microphone. My microphone was I can move it. And whenever I blow my nose or something like that, I usually move it up, and I just forgot to move it back down. Sergio says, let's go Astros, we got this. Sergio says, Jordan, I was so sad when you were talking about the tacos, I couldn't transport myself to Galveston. One day, if we're good, don't blow everything up, we will be able to do. And Brandon, I'll donate to you for your MLB, but now everything's spent even before I get it. I understand. Yeah, the yearly subscription is not cheap. But I also have to pay for my yearly scoreboard subscription. And it looks like they might be charging for some more of my software. It used to be free, but I think they're going to start charging for it. First pitch to Quan is outside for ball 1. 1-0. Next pitch coming from Hunter Brown. Quan hits that one pretty hard to right field, and that's going to bounce right in front of Dubon. Second pitch of the inning is a hit. So the Guardians have runner on first base. No-hitter bid for Hunter Brown today. Next batter, Martinez. That's right in there. 96 mile per hour sinker. Oh, and 1 pitch to Martinez on the way. Fouled back, 0-2. Four pitches now for Brown. Here comes the 5th. Way high on that fastball. Just a little too high to be competitive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looks like they've got a decent sized crowd at the park today in Cleveland. Here's the next pitch. That one's in there. Hit to right field, but Dubon is right under it. He'll easily bring it in. Seems pretty sunny out there today. A lot of guys wearing their sunglasses. They're showing active hit leaders in the MLB. Freddie Freeman is the only guy ahead of Altuve. Jose Ramirez is at the plate. First pitch on the way in the bottom part of the zone. We're just below the zone for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, man. 1 ball, 1 strike. 96 mile an hour high fastball. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 90 miles an hour on that changeup. Two balls and 1 strike. Next pitch will be Brown's 10th of the inning. Runner on first with 1 out. Here's the 2-1. Low and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1 pitch on the way. Nope. Brown decides to step off the mound instead. Gets a few boos from the crowd. 3 balls, 1 strike. Pitch to Martinez. Popped foul opposite field down the third base line and out of play. Count remains, well, actually the count becomes full. Probably need a full cup of coffee before I can stop making those mistakes. Here's the full count pitch. 2 wide, and that's a walk. So leadoff batter gets a hit Second batter gets a full count walk. We have 2 runners on with no outs. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 out for Hunter Brown and the Astros. Another guy in the lineup that was not in the lineup yesterday, Kyle Manzardo. First time he's ever batted against Hunter Brown. Here comes the first pitch. Nice changeup, or rather knuckle curve. Right on the inside edge. Strike 1. Oh, and 1 the count to Manzardo. Here comes the next toss. Right on that outside edge. Good one. 98 miles an hour. 0-2. Quickly jumping out to the lead. In the count, let's see if he can get himself a K right here. Here comes the 0-2. In the dirt. Check swing, did he go? And they say he did not, so that'll be ball 1. 1-2. Brendan says Brown always struggles in first inning. Hopefully not today. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Verlander in that regard. Sometimes Verlander would do that, right? Struggle a little early, shake out the rust. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss, 99 miles an hour. Nicely placed fastball. Manzardo can take a little stroll back to the dugout. Look at this location. Perfect. 2 away. First K for Brown. Now he's facing Daniel Schneemann, Mr. Schneemann. That one was a little outside, but called a strike. 98 mile an hour fastball. It looks like the umpire is liking that outside edge. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Just a little too high. 98 miles an hour. 1-1 is the count. One and one with 2 outs and 2 runners on. Here comes the next toss from Brown. Ground ball, just foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It seems I have a particle stuck in my teeth. I'm going to have to grab my toothpick in just a moment. Maybe after Hunter Brown gets this out, I can grab it and pick it out of there. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Hunter Brown gets another K. A 98 mile an hour fastball. After 2 base runners, Hunter Brown comes back and strikes out a couple of batters. No damage done. So, Brendan, your desire comes true. He has a little bit of shakiness, but he gets out of it. Top of the second coming up in just a moment. 0-0. The Garindians and the Stros. We are in the middle of, I would say the middle. We are going into the top of the second. It looks like I've got about 16 people following right now. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Please remember to like the live stream. We are at 10 likes. We got to 10 before the first inning was over. I wonder if we can get to 20 by the time the second inning is over. Is it possible? Maybe. If you haven't liked, please do so. If you haven't subbed, consider it. Consider it. But I need to grab my toothpick. Where is my toothpick? Aha. You guys might be wondering, you just keep a toothpick lying around? Well, actually, I realized last night, right when I was getting ready to lie down, that I had a toothpick still in the plastic wrapper. You can see that from the cafe. It was in my pocket, and I just put it on the corner of my bed because I didn't feel like moving around. I was being lazy. And immediately I'm able to get it out. Perfect. First pitch coming to Walker is a swing and a miss, 89-mile-an-hour cutter on the outside edge. 0-1. This ridiculous MLB. I just try to unmute it. See what's happening here? All I did was try to unmute it, but the way they set up the layout on the screen is that if I don't click it in the exact right spot, it opens up like an advertisement screen. But the count is 0-2. Apparently, Walker got a strike while I was dealing with that nonsense. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Low and outside, the Swiffer. It seems that the second pitch was also a Swiffer, and Walker tried to sweep it up. Here's the 1-2. That's in there, but ripped hard to left field all the way out to the wall. That's off the wall. Very close to being a homer. Walker doesn't have the time to get to second base. But, man, that was a line drive shot. It was crushed off the top of the wall in left field. What a smack by Walker. That was a Swiffer right in the middle. 86 miles an hour, and he punished it. Look where it hits the wall. Right off the top of the wall. Hit it too hard to get a double, but we have a runner on first with no outs. Lead-off hit. That brings up the Batman, Victor Caratini. Here comes the first pitch. High and outside. The curveball missing substantially. 1-0. Astros with their first hit on the board. Swing and a miss there. I'm trying to get something fixed on my screen. I finally was able to do that. Couldn't see the information on the screen. Suddenly it disappeared. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Way outside and high. The curveball missing by a large sum. 2 balls and 1 strike to Caratini. Two and one. Here comes the pitch. Williams puts that one below the zone, and Caratini goes after it. Kind of a late swing there. Almost kind of threw the bat out there as an afterthought. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2 from Williams. Hit high in the air. Is it going to be playable? Yes, the catcher is back. He will put it away. So Caratini fouls out for out number 1. Are you kidding me? Pride hats? A pride hat. I think they're calling it an Astros pride hat, but come on. Really? Yainer Diaz is at the plate. Here comes the first pitch from Williams. Grounds it to third. It's bobbled by the third baseman. He's only got 1 play at first. Still gets him. 2 away. But Walker gets to second, no problem. A wee bit of a bobble there. A mishandling of the scoop by the third baseman. And that brings up Jake the Rake. We have a runner in scoring position now with 2 outs. See if we can capitalize on that. Low and outside. Ball 1. John B says, "What's up, y'all?" Jordan says, "Walker's going to get hot once he settles in. Sure would be nice." Here's the next pitch. Myers takes that one outside for ball 2. I would love for Walker and Paredes to be hot. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Myers. Inside. Good take. Ball 3. Myers not going for those pitches too far inside, too far outside. 3-0. I'd love to see him go after a strike right here instead of letting it go automatically. Here comes the 3-0. A little high, but called a strike. Are you kidding me? That ball was 100% out of the zone and called a strike. That's pretty interesting. Myers takes a little timeout. They are showing on the screen that they're going to talk with Colton Gordon live from the dugout in the top of the next inning. That's interesting. Here comes the 3-1 pitch to Myers. Well, that one was a strike, but they called it a ball. So the umpire makes up for the bad call previously. What a weirdo. That umpire is a weirdo. So we have runners on the corners. I'm sorry, not runners on the corners. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Mauricio Dubon comes to the plate. Still with a runner in scoring position. Let's see if we can move him around. Here's the pitch. Goes after the first one, and it's just going to be a step on third base, and that's it. Dubon, I would say probably 75 to 80% chance he'll swing at the very first pitch. Sometimes it works out, but cases like that, it does not. Astros strand a couple of base runners. We go to the bottom of the second, 0-0, but the Stros do get a hit with a rocket off the wall from Christian Walker. Just a few feet away from being a home run. 15 people following along, 11 likes on the live stream. If you guys have the opportunity and have not done so, please leave a like. I would very much appreciate it. Hunter Brown will be back up on the mound in just a moment to face Gabriel Arias. Gabriel Arias. Tomorrow's game is going to be a little more difficult for me. It starts really early. Or should I say late? It starts at 2:40 a.m. for me. Right now it is 5:36 in the morning. When I got up at 4:30, I went straight out to put on some hot water. Out the back door, a little bit of sunlight already starting to come up. By the time I finish the game tomorrow, the sun will be up already. Even if the game finishes at 5:30 in the morning, the sun will be up. I wonder if I can make that a little bit bigger on the screen. I'll try to make the base runners and the outs a little bit bigger. First pitch from Brown on the way to Arias. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 98 miles an hour, low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Arias. They're talking about the formerly 5-star catch of Jacob Melton yesterday. They changed it from a 15% catch opportunity or chance to 45%. Can you believe that? That catch that he made yesterday, they're actually saying that there was a 45% chance he would make that catch. Can you really believe that? That it was almost a 50-50 chance he would make that catch? That's ridiculous. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Arias. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. 99 miles an hour. I did hear earlier they were talking about Hunter Brown. He wants to hit 100 miles an hour on his fastball. He's playing around with it. Here comes the next pitch. Another 98 up in the zone, fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Jordan says, don't do tomorrow. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the toss. Inside. Swing and a miss. Good 97 mile an hour sinker. Brown gets another strikeout. That's 3 today. All right. Now let's see. Base runner select area. Okay. That looks a little better. Now let me resize it a little. There we go. Second pitch is a strike, so we're 0-2 already in the count. 0-2 to Bo Naylor. Hunter Brown going for another strikeout here. And he gets it. Swing and a miss. How about that? A 3-pitch strikeout to Bo Naylor. As I was trying to adjust the base runners and outs on screen. 85 mile per hour knuckle curve. Whew, man, that felt so nice. All the way from Japan, I can feel that. Thanks, Mr. Naylor, for that fan, that breeze. Whew, a little chilly. Glad I got my jacket on. 2 away. Nolan Jones is at the plate. First pitch is a little high and outside for ball 1. Nolan Jones looks like a pretty tall guy. He takes up a lot of screen. Here's the pitch. Just a little outside on the 98 mile an hour fastball. 2-0 with 2 outs. Hunter Brown takes a little stroll off the mound for a moment. Hunter Brown nodding and shaking and discussing. Finally gets what he wants. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Jones takes it for ball 3. 97 above the zone. 3-0. Hunter Brown changes the baseball. He doesn't want that one anymore. BitDog says make the opposing team's logo smaller. I don't know about that. I think I'm going to leave it like it is. I don't want it too small because I want it to be obvious when people come here that the Astros are playing a particular team. That was a strike. 3-1. Here's the pitch in the dirt, ball 4. So 1 strike. to Nolan Jones and 4 balls. So we have a base runner, a 2 out base runner. It wouldn't help me, BitDog, to make the logo smaller, because I still need width for the scoreboard, or rather the base runner board with the outs. Fouls it off there. Will Wilson at the plate facing Hunter Brown. Brown up to 35 pitches now here in the top of the third. Or, I'm sorry, the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second. A little high on the pitch count. Here comes the next toss. That's right in there. The outside edge, 83-mile-an-hour knuckle curve. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes a 1-1. 98, a good 5 or 6 inches above the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wilson. Will Wilson, batting .200 for the season. Here's Brown's pitch. Fouled off. The count is still 1-2. I think I've got it backwards on the screen. There we go. I had it 2-1. It's 1-2. It's corrected now. My bad. Runner on first with 2 outs. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Wilson. Mr. Wilson. He fouls it off. Jordan says, how much is one team MLB price? Can't remember. $105 for a year. Hey, look at that. Strike 3. Swing and a miss, I believe. I was looking up the question, the answer to the question. As soon as I clicked away, he gets the strikeout, but Hunter Brown gets through it with another strikeout. That's his 5th of the game. And that's the end of the second, guys. 1 walk. No damage done. The score is still 0-0. We go to the top of the third. Astros 0. Guardians 0. Let me go back to the MLB screen. Yeah, that's right. The single team package is $105. It's not a lot cheaper than the yearly price, but the difference is very important. The difference is that you get the out-of-market games live, or on demand if you want it. But the main thing is that you get your out-of-market games live. So if you, I can actually show you on the screen here. This is the MLB link right here. For a single team, $104.99. $104.99. Out-of-market games or on-demand games. And it says 24 access to MLB Network US only. So I don't have unfettered access to the MLB Network because I'm in Japan. But I can watch all of the Astros out-of-market games. The only time I really can't see an Astros game is if they're on the ridiculous Apple TV. Yeah, they're talking with Colton Gordon right now. Top of the third, Brendan Rodgers at the plate, takes that first pitch. That second pitch for a strike. The first pitch was a ball, apparently. I missed it while I was yammering about MLB TV. Shame on me. Here's the pitch, 1-1. Almost hit Rodgers with that curveball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Way outside. Good take. 3-1. Here's the 3-1. Hit high in the air. Looks like that's going to be another foul catch by the catcher. Both Caratini and Rogers, both. Man. Couple of foul outs to the catcher today for the Astros. One away. They're still interviewing Colton Gordon right now. They were just talking about Melton's catch yesterday and the Astros defense backing up his pitching. He said that he and Melton kind of came up in the minors together. Hey, Pena hits that one, but right to the shortstop. 1 pitch ground out for Pena. I thought for a second there that it was going to get through the gap, but my hopes were dashed. 2 away. That brings up Isaac Paredes. Nobody on, 2 outs. Here comes the next pitch from Williams to Paredes. Strike 1. 0-1 is the count. Here comes 0-1. Swing and a miss right in the heart of the plate. 87-mile-per-hour Swiffer. And Paredes can't get the bat on it. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No runners on here in the top of the 3rd. Is it rally time? I think so. Here comes the pitch from Williams. Just a little high. 97-mile-per-hour pitch, missing the mark. Ball 1, 1-2. Mark says, hi, chat folk. Hello, chat folk. I'm back. Welcome, Mark. Juan Garcia. Hey, let's go Astros. Welcome, Juan. Nice to see you back. Ball 2, or is that a foul ball? Yeah, foul ball. 39 pitches now for Gavin Williams. The 40th pitch on the way in just a moment, as they continue talking with Colton Gordon. Right in the top of the zone, strike 3, and that's going to be all. A very short chat they have with Colton Gordon. A very, very short chat as the Astros give Gavin Williams an extremely short top of the 3rd. Absolutely nothing going on for the Astros in the 3rd inning. Almost nothing at all going on this entire game. They had a couple of runners on in the 2nd inning. Stranded them. 0-0 with 1 hit for each team is where we stand right now. 24 people following along, only 14 likes. That's a discrepancy. Make sure you like the live stream if you don't mind. Help me out, folks. Jordan says, I thought MLB was over $300. I might get it, but I also like you because I can work on my house at the same time. The only games I don't get is if we're laying St. Louis or the Braves, or playing, yeah. Yeah, Jordan, the problem with the MLB games, like you said, you can work on your house at the same time, is that listening to me means that you get what's happening in the game. I'm telling you what's happening in the game. That's why it's a play-by-play. It's not a commentary. It's not a live reaction. Of course, there's live reaction. You also have my live reaction. But there are a lot of people that have these live streams for their teams where they're just literally a couple of guys sitting there watching the game, and they will sit there and they're watching the game for like 20 seconds and they're not saying anything at all. I don't know. I don't understand why anybody watches those. If you're going to sit and watch something like that, why don't you just watch the freaking game? Live play-by-play is different. Brown is back on the mound. The first pitch comes into Stephen Kwan, the leadoff batter, for strike one. Strike one. Strike Kwan? Strike Kwan? Next pitch is a little outside, 96 mile an hour fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, it looks like I just lost my internet there for a second. Okay. For some reason, just everything went out just for a moment. Give me a second. I'm going to refresh the screen here. I don't know what's going on. Suddenly, the connection just completely went out, and I am reloading the screen right now. Should be back up in just a moment. All right, so Kwan is out. Something happened, and Kwan is out. First pitch there to Martinez is a ball, 1-0. That was weird. Literally had an internet outage. Everything that I had, my live stream connection, the game connection, everything went out for like 1 second, then came back on. Next pitch to Hernandez is grounded, a bouncer to Pena. Pena fires over to first, no problem. Out number 2. 2 up and 2 down for Brown in the bottom of the third. Kwan either grounded out or flew out. I don't know which because I didn't get to see it. Next batter is at the plate. And I have to redo my screen again. What in the world is going on? My browser even is... my connection again. You see that? You guys see that? Reconnection successful. I lose my connection, and then I get it back. And right now, I have to refresh my... you can see I have to refresh my MLB stream again. I don't know what's going on. But Ramirez has a 3-0 count. For next pitch is in the bottom of the zone. That was in the zone. Call a ball 4? Look at this. That was a strike. Ball 4 apparently. 4-pitch walk to Ramirez. He's on base with 2 outs. I don't know what's going on with my internet connection right now. I'm starting to get a little confused. Maybe the dish is adjusting outside. I don't know. Hopefully it's all worked out. First pitch to Manzardo is fouled off for strike 1. I'll try to get less frazzled. 0-1 pitch on the way. Oh, it's 1-0 pitch. There was no foul ball. The information on my screen is just out of control right now, guys. I don't know what's going on. But here's a 1-0 pitch. That is a swing and a miss, so the count is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on first base. Kyle Manzardo at the plate facing Hunter Brown. Here comes the toss. Swing and a miss. That was a half swing. Fooled him with the knuckle curve. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Manzardo steps out of the box for a moment. Hunter Brown looking for the call. Seems he has what he wants. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Little check swing. Did he go? No, they say no swing. Hunter Brown thought he had it. He was walking off the mound. He thought that was a strike. They say no, he didn't go. Let's take another look. Yeah, he didn't quite break his wrists. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Runner is on the way. Fouled off. 2-2. The count remains. Ramirez has to go back to first base. That's right. Waste that energy. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ramirez is trying to steal. Here's the throw to second. It goes way over the head of Pena. But it doesn't matter. Strike 3 called. Kind of an embarrassing throw there for Diaz. But Hunter Brown gets the strike 3 call, so the throw doesn't matter. What a weird play. Top of the 4th coming up. 1 hit for each team. No runs. It's one of those games. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of seeing games like this. No runs through like 5 or 6 innings. It's killing me. Jordan says all I know is that I get a lot done listening to you versus watching the game live. That's great. That's really great. That's the thing. I never felt that paying for MLB just to watch the games, back when I was interested in listening into the games, I couldn't find anybody that was doing the games. And I could have paid to get the Astros broadcast, but it was inconsistent. Not every game was available. Sometimes the games weren't available. So I don't like paying for something, like you mentioned blackouts. Sometimes there's a blackout. And if I'm going to pay to get the games broadcast on radio, then I better be getting 100% of those games. I don't understand why I would not. Why would I not be able to get 100% of every single game? Is it really so difficult to get every single radio broadcast? Why is that so difficult? It's such an easy thing. But I thought, I'm not going to pay a monthly subscription. And if you really think about it, the monthly radio subscription was more than MLB, because it was basically $9 or $10 a month. That's close to $120 a year. Altuve's at the plate. First pitch goes right to the second baseman and over to first. Another ground out for Altuve. One to the third baseman and one to the second baseman. Very first pitch. One up and one down on one swing. Christian Walker comes to the plate. He had a line drive hit off the top of the wall in left field earlier. Here comes the pitch to Walker, a little outside. They said Gavin Williams typically has a high pitch count and walks a lot of batters, but he has not been doing that for the Astros today. He's had a really good game against them so far. 96 miles an hour right in there for strike 1. The count is even. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Almost in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. $22 people following along, 16 likes. 4 more to get to 20, guys. Hook me up. Here's the pitch. Too far inside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Walker. Let's see if he can live up to his name and get a walk to first base. It'd be nice to have a base runner with 1 out. Here comes the toss. Hey, that one's right down the middle, but hit a little too lightly to center field. Martinez is underneath it, and he puts it away. Walker is put away for out number 2. That brings up the Batman Victor Caratini. 2 away, no one on. Here comes the first toss from Williams. Right in the bottom of the zone, and an 80-mile-an-hour curveball. Just drops it right in there. 0-1 pitch to Caratini on the way. Swing and a miss. Another curveball, but that one a little below the zone. Caratini goes after it. Can't put the wood on it. Asks for a little mercy from the umpire, otherwise known as timeout. Umpire says, timeout. The Batman is back in the bat box. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Caratini. Do you like the spaghetti, the linguine, the fettuccine, or the Caratini? I'll take it, the Caratini. It's a good choice. It's a good choice. Here comes a 1-2. Hit into the opposite field, all the way out close to the warning track, but no problem for Quan. 7 batters retired in a row by Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams shutting down the Astros, making the Astros look like a minor league team right now. I don't know. A minor league team might be doing better against other teams at the plate. Astros need to put some runs on the board and help out Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown better not have one of those games where he gives up like 1 run through 7 innings and loses the game. That's going to be the difference right there for the Astros. If they can't consistently score runs, then they are going to be knocked out of the playoffs. Even if they win the division, they'll be knocked out of the playoffs in the very first round. Got to score runs, guys. You can't win games if you don't score runs. I know that they scored enough to win yesterday, but they really should have had 5 on the board. 4 was okay, but it wasn't good. Good to have 5 on the board. Great is going to be 6 or more. 4 is okay. 3 is average. Middle of the 4th right now. 24 following along, 17 likes. If you haven't liked the live stream, I appreciate you doing so right now. Thank you in advance. Currently an MLB commercial break going on. When we come back, the Astros will be back on defense. Hunter Brown at the plate. The batter will be Daniel Schneemann. Mr. Schnee. For those of you who know Mr. Smee from Peter Pan. Hey, 20 likes. Just hit 20 likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. In the middle of the 4th, we hit 20 likes. 20 more to go to get to 40. Here's the first pitch from Brown. High and outside for ball 1 to Mr. Schnee. Mr. Schneemann. Strike out his last at bat. He hits this one down the first baseline. It's fair. Walker takes it himself. There we go. Good start to the inning. A little ground ball, a little tap, tap, tappy down the first baseline, and a step, step, steppy. One away. Hunter Brown gets a new ball. Next batter is at the plate. Gabriel Arias. Tacos Arias. Arandas Arias. Hey. Man, that could have gone either way. A little bit inside, but strike 1. 94 miles an hour. We'll take it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Brown. Arias. Woo, did that hit him? Yeah. That got him on the arm. He's going to go to first base with a hit by pitch. They're going to check again to see if he swung at the pitch. No, he didn't. Yeah, he held up. All right, well, base runner after the hit by pitch. 60 pitches now by Brown, and he is facing Bo Naylor again. First pitch is just below the zone, 88-mile-an-hour changeup. 1-0. Well, that's interesting. That's the first batter that Hunter Brown has hit all season long. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, swing and a miss right in the heart of the plate. The count is even, 1-1, with one out and one runner on first. We got ourselves a lot of ones. Astros Houston says cheers. Cheers to you, sir. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Way outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The knuckle curve missing. Caesar, welcome in. Geaux Stros indeed. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Right in there. He drops the knuckle curve right in the zone. That one was well placed. The count is now even, 2-2. Jordan says, I was happy yesterday because I didn't think 4 runs would be enough. Yeah, I wasn't comfortable with it. I wanted that 3-run lead. Hunter Brown throws over to first base. He gets back. Crowd goes boo. Jordan says, I just liked twice. Once on my phone, once on my TV. Not sure how it counted. There you guys with your tacos again. Sorry. But you know what? If it makes you feel any better, I don't have any tacos right now. This is hit into right field. I'm sorry, left field. I meant to say left center field. I came out with light instead. What in the world is going on? It's too early in the morning. Let's try that again. Opposite field. Fly ball to left center field. Handled by Myers. No problem. Out number 2. Wow. I'm trying to... Oh, runner tries stealing. The throw is there. Yiner throws him out. I couldn't get it clicked on fast enough. Hopefully we get a replay there. Guardians might challenge. They don't. They don't challenge. Yeah, they got the replay. You guys can check out the replay here. Look at that. He tried to steal and he didn't make it. Yiner finally gets a throw out. The Astros have been throwing out the runners a little more recently. Maybe they've been working on that. Good for you, Yiner. Good for you. That's it for the 4th inning. We go into the top of the 5th. Still 0-0. 1 hit for each team. Both pitchers having a solid performance today. But it's time for the Astros to go gangbusters on Mr. Gavin Williams. The Astros need to be having Gavin. Having Gavin for dinner. Having Gavin for dinner. Thanks for those extra likes, Jordan. I appreciate that. Right now I've got 23. That's good. Just need 7 more to get to 30. Astros using from my coffee. Yeah. I'm pouring myself a second cup right now. It is 6:12 in the morning here. I wonder if I can put a poll up. Got some kind of poll? I have a good question that I can put in the chat. Yiner Diaz is at the plate. First pitch is on the way from Williams. Fouled back for strike 1. 0-1 is the count. There we go. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Hey, that might be a hit. It is down into right center field. Yainer Diaz with a leadoff single. All right. What are you having, Diaz? Diaz says, I'm having Gavin. Munch, 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 nom, 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 nom. I'm having coffee. What are you having? I'm having Gavin. So ridiculous. Having Gavin. Jake Myers. Jake the Rake. Jake the Snake. Come on, man. Here's a pitch. Low and outside. Ball 1. That's all right, Mr. Myers. I don't know Myers at all, but he just seems to be the type of guy that would be like your just common, dependable family man. It's just my impression. Bottom of the zone for strike 1, 1-1. He has the look, he has the demeanor and everything. One ball, one strike. Runner on first. Ground ball to third. He gets through. That's going to be dangerous. This might score a run. Diaz is round. He's headed to third. They're going to wave him home. No, they do not. He stops. He stops. I thought for sure they were waving him home. Why didn't he go? Jake Myers stops at second base with the double. Gavin. Thought that was going to be 1-0 Stros. Come on, Doobie. Fouls it off down the third base side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Come on, Doobie Doobie Doo. Ruby, Ruby, Roo. Is Doobie having some Gavin too? 3 hits now for the Astros, 2 this inning. Here comes the 1-1. In the dirt, check swing. They say he held up, so 2 balls and 1 strike. 58 pitches now for Williams, Gavin Williams. Diaz and Walker need to get hot, says Jordan, because Myers and Pena will probably cool off a bit. Yeah, a little bit. Myers has already cooled off a little, but it's nice that he got a hit there. Swinging a foul ball by a Doobie. 2-2 is the count. But you know, Dubon right now is batting .255. If he can keep at least .255 or .260, he's going to be kind of pulling his weight because we can't expect too much from him. He fouls that one off. My preference would be that Dubon is a solid .275 hitter. I would like to see all of the Astros bats at least .275. Wouldn't that be a dream come true? If you had a few guys over 300 and everybody else is at least .275. Swing and a miss. Way outside and low. A junk pitch. Dubon goes after it. Out number 1. Brendan Rodgers comes to the plate. He had himself a nice solo home run yesterday. After a long streak of no hits, more than a month, not a single hit, and then he had a home run yesterday. Swings after the first one, 82 in the bottom of the zone. Misses the curveball, strike 1. Jordan says Diaz could have made it. I think so too, but what do I know? In the dirt, ball 1. Good take. 1-1. These glasses are starting to hurt the side of my head, but they're pinched between my ears and my head because of the headphones and my hat. Here's the 1-1 to Rodgers. That's right in there. Curveball, no doubter. I saw that one coming. That was perfect. 82-mile-an-hour curveball right in the center of the plate. How do you not swing at that? I've never understood that. Curveballs have always been easy for me. Just a standard curveball. You see it a million times as a professional batter. And then he swings at the one in the dirt. He's going to run to first. Catcher holds him at third and makes the play at first base. 2 away. The Astros are looking pretty disappointing after getting 2 runners on. But Jeremy Pena comes to the plate. We have some hope. It's not going to take much. Pena batting .300 with runners in scoring position. He's one of the best guys we have on the team with runners in scoring position. Here's the first pitch. Opposite field. It might be some trouble. Is he going to be able to get there? Yes, he's safe. He's safe. I called it before the umpire. He dove in there, and that's going to score a run. Diaz scores on the infield hit by Jeremy Pena. Opposite field. That was a race between the pitcher and Pena beat it out with a dive into first base. Look at this. Williams upset about that, but Pena trucking it. The flash gets there in time. Heck yes, 1-0 Astros. Runners on the corners. Isaac Paredes is at the plate. Here's the first pitch. In the bottom part of the zone for strike 1. We have another runner in scoring position at third. Highest percentage number of runs scored with 2 outs. Astros at 57%. That's crazy. Paredes calls timeout. Isak with the really cool sunglasses on today. 0-1 with 2 outs, runners on the corners. Opportunity to get some more runs. Come on, Paredes. Big hit. Here's the toss. Oh, almost hit him. Pena's stealing. Fake throw by the catcher. Now we have both our runners in scoring position as Pena takes second, no problem. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Up the middle, and that's going to be an easy bouncer for the second baseman. He goes over to first base, and that's out number 3. But the Astros do get the 1 run. Thank you, Jeremy Pena, the Flash, for working your butt off to get that infield hit. Give Hunter Brown at least a lead. Thank you, Flash. You're my favorite DC comic hero. Bottom of the 5th coming up. The Astros now with 4 hits. 3 in that inning. They're able to turn it into at least 1 run. Yes, absolutely, Fred. Thank you for being here. Great play and hustle by JP3. Absolutely, for sure. Jordan says Rogers proved that even a blind squirrel gets a nut. Yes, that's true. Well, you know what they say about a broken clock? Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Jordan says, way to hustle, Pena. I thought for sure out. Man, yeah, and I don't even think he had to dive. I'm not quite sure why runners dive. I saw a study one time where they said that there are 2 interesting things about diving towards first base. Generally, you don't get to first base any faster by diving than if you're just running through it. So it's a misconception that you get there faster by diving. But the second thing about diving at first base is that there's a high percentage you injure yourself. A lot of injuries happen when people dive at first base. You're running full speed. And it's not like second base. Second base, you have to slow down just a tad, right? You have to slide in so that you don't go past the bag. You have to slide and then be able to stop or grab the bag or something like that. But at first base, it's not like that. You just have to touch it. So you can go past it. It doesn't matter. So when you go into the bag at first base and you're sliding at such a high speed, it's easy to get injured. So it's not worth it. If statistics proved that diving at first base gave you a higher percentage chance of being safe, then I could understand it a little better. But since it doesn't support that, I think it's useless. You can just run through the bag. Just run through the bag. Hunter Brown is not liking the condition of the mound right now, so they're out there working on it a little bit. They're out there tamping the ground right now. Nolan Jones will be at the plate in just a moment once they get the mound issue straightened out for Hunter Brown. Jordan says, one reason I'm like Melton, he's even faster than Pena. Pena becoming a leader like Correa. Yeah, you know, I really liked Pena early on, but I remember when Pena really first came in and took over the role, a lot of people were unsure if he was going to be able to fill those shoes and be the Astros' everyday go-to shortstop. But I just liked him. I felt like he just needed a little time to adjust. It didn't take much time. But the past couple of years, it's been an opportunity for him to solidify what kind of player he is, you know. Is he going to be a decent player, an average player, or is he going to be a star? And he's becoming a star. Absolutely, he's becoming a star. Hunter Brown's still waiting on them to finish repairing the mound here. They're still really working on it. Lots of construction going on here. I remember when I was playing in high school, we played in some really, really crappy ballparks. Isn't it funny how here you can see that they've got this rut, this small rut that they're trying to repair. But I remember playing in some parks where the mound had massive ruts. And there was no such thing as just saying, hey guys, can we get this fixed before we pitch? Can we get this filled with some dirt? There were some massive ruts on some of those mounds, those pitcher mounds. Some of the parks that we played at in high school were trash. They were really trashy. But there was no such thing as complaining about that and getting it fixed. Absolutely not. For those of you who are wondering what in the world's going on, they're trying to get some holes filled out here. There's some ruts in the mound. They're trying to get them packed. They keep adding more dirt and packing it down and adding more dirt and packing it down. This is actually something that I need to do underneath my house, is fill up some holes where there's been erosion and then tamp it down. And man, there's so much work to be done at my house. You have no idea. If you guys want to take a working vacation, come to Japan, do some volunteer cleaning and renovation, you can come stay at my house for free. I'm not kidding. You can come stay here for free. Now, food is on you. Not my food. I can take care of myself. But showers, place to sleep, it's on me. Trust me, you can stay here for free. The only thing I ask is that you help me clean and do some minor repairs, because there's so much to be done here. I'm so swamped. I've been thinking about getting some insurance, trying to get some liability insurance. That way I can openly invite people. on my main channel. I have a, some of you already know that, but I have a channel that follows my house. It's about my house here and living here in Japan. Finally, we're about to have a pitch to Nolan Jones. Fouls it off, 96 miles an hour, right in the center of the zone. Looks like the mound work has helped out Hunter Brown. 96 right in there. Here comes the next pitch. A little outside on the 97 mile per hour fastball. 1-1. Altuve out there biting his nails as usual. Just hanging out like a kid. He's going to be like that when he's 90 years old. Fouled off. Oh, is it fair? No, it's foul. Into the net. Okay, I was right. Big hustle by Paredes there. Kind of curious about that. I thought it was foul, but the way they were hustling, I thought, wait a second, it might be fair. And then it goes foul. Oh, I was right. Why were they running so hard? Paredes, what are you doing? Maximum effort. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nolan Jones. 69 pitches for Brown. 70th one will be on the way in just a moment. But anyway, like I was saying, if I get the liability insurance, then I can invite people here nonstop, no problem. Upstairs, ball 2. The count is even. It would be nice to have a steady stream of people coming out here and volunteering to help clean up and do some repairs and stuff. That'd be great. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Woo, there we go. The very bottom of the zone. Strike 3. 96 mile an hour fastball. See you later, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. You could say, Mr. Jones, strike 3. Not bad, huh? Any of you get that reference? What away. First pitch to Will Wilson. Line drove. What do you say in a situation like that? Doesn't it sound weird if you're talking past tense? Line drove down the left side. Line driven down the left side? That's such a strange expression. Check swing. He does not go. 1 ball, 1 strike to Will Wilson. You can just say he lined that one down the left side. That sounds better. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled off on the right side. 1-2. Jordan says, I think Pena would have been out if he didn't dive, but I also agreed not to dive. Well, Jordan, it seems that way, but studies don't show that. Studies don't agree with that. And that's what I was saying. To me, it's about the data. 2 balls and 2 strikes with that pitch. Here comes the 2-2 to Will Wilson. That one's hit hard. Breaks his bat. He's going to have to switch his stick out. He's going to take the casual stroll over to the dugout. But this time, they actually bring the bat to him. Was it the Rays? One of the Rays that walked all the way into the dugout. I kid you not. He literally walked all the way down into the dugout, walked to the end of the dugout, got another bat, walked all the way back out, just casually strolled the whole time. Big delay of game on that. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Wilson. Here's the pitch. Brown gets another strikeout. The slider low and outside. 2 strikeouts for Wilson and 2 away in this inning. Nice. Another K for Brown. Next victim is Stephen Kwan. Just below the zone, 96 miles an hour, ball 1. Correa used to be a leader with the Astros. Low in the outside corner. Strike Kwan. Strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 away. Here comes the toss. That one's hit foul. Down the third base side, opposite field strike for Quan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 run better than 0. That's true. Oh, what's the channel called? It's called Akia Kominka Life. I can send you the link. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That pitch was in the dirt. Brown gets a new baseball. He's going to rub it up a little bit. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This one's hit out into right center field and is down for a hit. So a 2 ball, 2 strike, 2 out single for Quan. Quan is one of the best in the MLB about putting the ball in play. He does it again right there, and this time with a hit. So bottom of the 5th, they have a base runner with 2 outs. Let's see here. Akia Kominka Life. I actually just posted a new video. I'm trying to get a pump installed. Josh Miller's going to come out, the pitching coach for the Stros. Have a little chit-chat with Diaz and Brown right quick. Brendan, that's my channel about my house and my life here in Japan. I just posted a video a couple of days ago about the water pump that I've been trying to... I have a very deep well out here. I have no city water, but the good thing is I have free well water. It's crystal clear, good stuff. And I have a small mountain right behind my house. I can get mountain water too. Angel Martinez comes to the plate. First pitch from Brown coming in just a moment. And here it is. High and outside, ball 1. 97, missing up and away. If we had a teleporter and tacos, I'd be there now. Tacos in the morning? I'd take it. Even though it's 6:36 in the morning. I'd take tacos right now. Heck yes, I'd take tacos. I can have tacos in the morning, no problem. Tacos in the morning much better than rice in the morning, in my opinion. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. He lost his hat. That man lost his hat. 2 balls and 1 strike to Martinez. Taking them to Browntown. That's right. Let's go down to Browntown. Brown goes over to first. The runner's back. Boo! The crowd says boo. Shame on you for throwing to first and trying to get the runner out. Shame on you for trying to pick him off. What's wrong with you, boo? 2-1. Here comes the pitch to Martinez. He hits that opposite field and into the crowd for strike 2. The count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 86 pitches now for Hunter Brown. Quite a bit for just 5 innings. Here comes the 2-2. Strike 3. Quan was stealing. Diaz made the throw, but it didn't matter. That was strike 3. Hunter Brown with another strikeout. Boom. 1 strikeout. 2 strikeouts. How about 3? Boom. 3 strikeouts. Heck yes. Throw to second, but didn't matter. Didn't need it. Top of the 6th coming up. The Astros destroying the Guardians 1-0. Thanks to an infield hit by the Flash. Astros Houston says, Poppy, it's Ramirez? I don't know. I don't know about that. Is that a nickname? Brendan says all the MLB games are low scoring today. What's going on? I don't know. But now that you said that, I'm interested to take a look. I want to try to bring it up on the screen here. We can take a look. We can go up to the scoreboard. Full scoreboard. 4-3 Reds. Phillies 1-1 in the 7th. That's terrible. Rangers 2-0 in the 7th. Braves and Giants 2-1 in the 7th. Wow, you're right. Now the Reds, wait, is that yesterday's game? Okay, so the Diamondbacks and the Reds, that was yesterday's game. Today's game is 5-1. So this is a better score, 5-1. And that's only in the 4th. So that's a pretty good game for the Reds right now against the Diamondbacks. And then, of course, 1-0 here. The Marlins and the Rays have got some scoring going on. 6-4 in the 5th. That's a busy game. I'd hate to be the pitchers in that game. The Royals, 3-1 behind the Sox. And the Red Sox don't play until later. The rest of the games are later. The Mariners are going to be playing the Angels. Hopefully the Angels can kick their butts, but, you know, we'll see. Yeah, just a couple of games, you're right. Most of the games are low scoring. You're absolutely right. Altuve is at the plate, waggling his bat. He's got the 1-0 count, and with that pitch right there, he takes strike one. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Altuve. He taps that one into left field. Is it going to drop? No. The shortstop is going to be out just enough to grab it. Altuve goes down with a light fly ball, and he walks casually back to the dugout. 1 up and 1 down. Christian Walker with a line drive off the wall in left field, his first at bat, and a fly out. Here comes the first toss from Williams. Fouls it back. 0-1. Here comes the next pitch. 80-mile-an-hour curveball, high and inside, fouled off. 0-2. Astros sweep the Guardians into the trash. That'd be nice. That would definitely be nice. This is a team that I would love to see the Astros sweep. 0-2 is the count to Walker. How about you rip one over the fence this time? Here comes the pitch. In the dirt. Kind of a half check swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Christian Walker. 27 people listening or following in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. 24 likes on the live stream. If you haven't liked it, please do so. I would greatly appreciate that. Foul down the third base line. The count remains... The third... Okay, I thought some... Yeah, what in the world? I still feel like I'm asleep right now. I saw something on the screen and it threw me off. Trying to read and speak at the same time. Here's the next pitch to Walker. He tried to hold up on the check swing, but they say he went around, so that'll be strike 3. How many strikeouts is that for Walker this year? The curve ball below the zone. 2 away. Too many strikeouts for Christian Walker this year. The Flash was able to get something done. Can the Batman get something done? He fouls the first pitch off. Can our Astros DC heroes come through for us today? The Flash has come through. Batman takes a timeout. 4 hits for the Stros today, 2 hits for the Guardians. Here's the next pitch. That's right in there, 80-mile-per-hour curveball. Curveball working really well for Williams today. 80 pitches for him with this next delivery. 11 strikeouts. That one's in the dirt. One ball, 2 strikes to Caratini. Ooh, 30 people. We're up to 30. Woohoo! Leave me some likes on the live stream, guys, if you're just coming in. Thank you very much. Here's the next pitch to Caratini in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Williams' curveball is just coming in droves right now. Curveball, 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 curveball. Hit the ball, guys. I know you can hit a curveball. Here comes the next toss. Too high. 3-2. It's interesting that Williams is leading the league in full counts. And he's only got 4 this game against the Astros. They're being too impatient, I guess. Ball 4. Good take. Speaking of patience, the Batman lays off, and we have a 2-out base runner. Is it peanut butter rally time? Is the pitching coach going to come out? I don't see why he would right now. It's not a big deal. 2 outs, 1 walk. It's all right. Shiner Diaz comes to the plate. Let's see what he can do. Shine brightly, Yiner. Here comes the first pitch. And swing and a miss. A little tip, it looks like. Foul tip. It nicked the catcher in the leg. He's walking it off right now. Walk it off, walk it off. Let's take a look at it. Ooh, right off the inner thigh there. Missed the family jewels, though. He's lucky. Oh, and 1 to Yiner with Caratini on first, 2 outs. Here's the toss. Grounded down the third baseline, but foul. 0-2 is the count. Here in the top of the 6th, the Astros with a commanding 1-0 lead. Looks like the viewer count is creeping up. We're at 32 now. That's great. Welcome in. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Diaz. Woo, close. A little high and outside. Good take, good call by the ump. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 86 pitches now for Williams. Here's the next pitch. Low and outside. He tries that curveball again, but luckily Yiner doesn't chase it this time. Count is even, 2-2. Williams looking for the pitch. He's got what he wants. He comes set. Here's the pitch. Outside again. Fastball this time, but not competitive. Full pitch. Full pitch. Full count pitch coming up in just a moment. This is the second full count of the inning for Gavin. His 5th of the game. Normally he has a lot more than that. He's leading the majors. Yiner hits this one out in the left field. That's going to be off the wall or out of here. Are you kidding me? It's gone. The cameraman thought that was going to be off the wall. He fooled me. 2-run shot by Yiner Diaz. What a light swing. Just a little lazy swing by Yiner Diaz there. And it floats out. It just keeps going and going and going. 3-0 Astros on that light, easy swing. Yeah, even the commentators are talking about that was only a 93-mile-an-hour exit velocity. That was a very light, easy swing. And that ball just floated out. Even the cameraman was fooled. Wow. Jake Myers comes to the plate, takes that first pitch for strike one. That was really something, guys. Bases are cleared. 3-0 Astros. Let me refresh the scoreboard there. Second pitch to Myers on the way. On the outside edge, swing and a miss. On that fastball. Strike two. Good job, Yiner. We need you to hit the ball like that, my friend. Nice, easy swing on the fat part of the bat. Just float out of the park. Grab some wings and float out of here. Line drive up the middle, but caught by the second baseman who's right there. Little soft liner, but speaking of liner, Yiner. Look at that. Just an easy, nice, easy swing by Yiner. You see me? Yeah, I see you. Pena and Yiner celebrating a little bit. All right. Finally, Astros get some comfortable distance for Hunter Brown. 3-0. 5 hits for the Stros going into the bottom of the 6th. Finally, something to get a little more excited about. Heck yes. The floater, the butterfly homer. That's right, Mark. It picked up some wings along the way and just kind of fluttered its way out of the stadium. Everybody was surprised by that. The cameraman, the commentators for the Astros. I was surprised. Everybody said the same thing that I was thinking. It was such a nice, easy, light swing. A little tap, tap, tappy. Didn't seem like it was going anywhere and just kept going and going and going. And there's a big wall out there in left field. It's not a short wall. But it went right over and bounced out. Yes, Brendan, finally a home run. Finally. Nice. So the Astros have a combination of hits now. An infield. They have a few hits with an infield hit by Pena to get the first run. A walk. And then a two-out home run by Yiner Diaz. And we are at 3-0. It's nice that Brown finally has a lead to work with here. A decent lead to work with. I wouldn't say that the Guardians are the best team, but they are not a bad team. They're a team that you have to take seriously. Jose Ramirez is at the plate. Hunter Brown is back in the game with 87 pitches. There is his 88th. A strike on the outside edge, 96 miles an hour. Here comes the next toss. In the dirt. The changeup missing low. The count is even, 1-1. Ramirez actually has 2 walks today. 3 walks today. 2 of those issued to Martinez, or Ramirez rather. Right center field on that base hit. Ramirez puts the brakes on at first base. He was thinking about going for 2, but he got thrown out yesterday for trying that. Leadoff base runner for the Guardians. 3 hits now for the Guardians. First pitch to Kyle Manzardo goes way up over into left field. Pena runs over and puts it away. Out number 1. 1 pitch to Manzardo, and that equals 1 out. One out, 1 runner on. Daniel Schneemann, Mr. Schneemann comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. A little outside. Ball 1. 83-mile-an-hour knuckle curve missing the mark. Here comes the 1-0. Another one outside. That's a changeup, but misses by about 4 inches. Looks like Stephen Okert, Fried Okert, is in the bullpen, warming up. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Brown. That's low, 3 straight balls, 97-mile-an-hour fastball. So a curveball, a changeup, and a fastball missing outside, low, 3-0. This might be the last batter for Brown if he walks him. Here's the pitch. Yep, low and inside, 96-mile-an-hour pitch. 4-pitch walk. Is that going to bring out Espada? Espada's watching from the dugout. He's not moving so far. Come on, man. You going to let him stay out there? 95 pitches for Brown. He's got 2 on with 1 out. What do you guys think? What do you think? I don't know who's pitching yet tomorrow. They didn't announce it, but I'll check. I'll double check, Brendan. There's a base hit. It might score a run. They're waving him around. Yeah, Ramirez will score. 3-1. The shutout is over for Hunter Brown. Diaz comes out and has a little meeting with Hunter Brown. Sinker inside, 96 miles an hour, and just put right through the hole. Just ripped right through the hole by Arias. Runners on first and second with 1 out. 4 hits now for the Guardians. Bo Naylor comes to the plate. They're leaving Hunter Brown in the game. No visit to the mound. 3-1. The tying run is on first. The winning run is at the plate. 96 pitches now for Brown. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Here comes the pitch. A little low, ball 1. 4 straight ball on a 4-pitch walk by Brown. Then he gives up a hit, and then there's another ball right there. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Wow, up and in, almost hit him. 2-0 is the count. How much trouble is Brown going to have before Espada does something, guys? Shouldn't he have come out already? Here comes the pitch. High and outside, ball 3, 3-0. This is the Hunter Brown shaking his head. He's clearly off right now. Are the Astros trying to give the game away? I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. There's the 3-0. Hit hard down the first base side. Finally a strike. 3-1. You said Walter? Walter pitching tomorrow? Walter? Oh, they got yeah, that's why. I guess that's why it was not announced. Look at that. Another walk. High and outside. Bases loaded. Finally, Espada comes out, but you're about 3 batters too late, my friend. So Espada waits until bases are loaded with 1 out and Brown has already given up a run before coming out to replace Brown with Okert. Are you kidding me? I really don't understand what in the world Espada was thinking. To just let Hunter Brown keep digging a bigger and bigger hole. Espada's just giving the game away, guys. He's literally just giving the game away. I don't understand it. Sergio says, with pitcher Spencer Arrighetti, Luis Garcia, France returning soon, our attention should be on possibly bringing in another bat or 2. Yeah, I'm 100% all in on the bats, Sergio. Brennan says crap. Yeah, my opinion exactly. I don't understand what's going on with Espada. Jordan says, I don't have tacos, but I do have wings. Well, legs, but almost as good. Spiritual wings is nice. All right, guys. Fried Okert is going to be on the mound. I really hope he's able to get like a double play ball and shut this down. I'm hopeful that where Espada failed, Okert can succeed. Because Hunter Brown should have been out after the second batter. He should have been out. He started the inning with 87 pitches. His control wasn't there. And they just let him keep going and keep going and keep going. And he gave up a run. Now we have bases loaded with 1 out. And then he finally brings in a reliever. Why would you wait? Why would you wait so long? I don't understand the logic there. Please explain it to me. Okert just finishing up his warm-up tosses in just a moment. Looks like he's ready to go. All right, guys. Here we go. Bottom of the 6th. David Fry is at the plate with bases loaded. Here comes the first pitch from Okert. High fastball, strike 1. Good toss, 92 in the top of the zone. David Fry is pinch hitting. He's batting .209 as a pinch hitter. Here comes the next pitch. Hit high in the air, but foul. Strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the next pitch to Fry. Fried Okert served up for strike 3, a 3-pitch strikeout against David Fry. So Okert fries some fry Okert. How about some Fry Okert? David Fry Okert. Next batter is at the plate. Woo, inside edge, strike 1. The slider finding the mark against Will Wilson. 0-1. 2 away with bases loaded. Here comes the 0-1 toss. Swing and a miss. 81 in the bottom of the zone on that slider. 0-2. 5 straight strikes from Okert. He shakes off a couple. He's got what he wants. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3. Look at that, guys. Hunter Brown goes crazy. Look at that. 6 straight pitches, all strikes from Stephen Okert. How do you like that? Stephen Okert comes in with bases loaded, 2 outs. No, I'm sorry, 1 out. And he strikes out both batters. 6 pitches in a row. So Joe Espada makes a big, in my opinion, a big error in leaving Hunter Brown in so long, costing the Astros, costing Brown a shutout and costing the Astros their 3-run lead, putting them in a very dangerous position with bases loaded and only 1 out. Finally bringing in a reliever, but Okert, 6 straight strikes, 2 strikeouts, gets the Astros out of the inning. How do you like that? Good job, Stephen Okert. You are my hero of the day, that's for sure. Jordan says, we used to have a so-so pitcher named Samson, but with bases loaded, he had shut them down. He was our fireman. Anyone remember that? Samson. Yeah, I don't remember, Jordan. I really don't. How long ago was that? Caesar says amazing. Yes, that was. Yes, Brendan. Scared to death. Me too. But I really was hoping, okay, Okert, if he stays calm, he can pick up and get things fixed where Espada failed. And he did. Fried Okert, baby. Kind of fireman name. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Caesar says, I love it. Nice pitch, absolutely. Mark says, now they're going to make the move, going to build on Okert. Jordan says, even better pitch. Might be our new fireman to put out the fire. Well, he's getting it done right now, but no reliever should be forced into a position like that, where Hunter Brown should have already been out of the game. Guardians have a new pitcher. He's facing Dubon. First pitch is outside for ball one. This is Jacob Eunice. Here's the next pitch. High and inside for ball two. How do you spell his name? There we go. Jakob is how you spell his name. Fouled off by Dubon for strike one. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the next pitch. Bouncer to third. Makes the quick toss over there and beats Dubon. Dubon not a slow runner, but not fast enough to beat that throw. 1 away here in the top of the 7th. Brendan Rodgers, a foul out and strikeout, is at the plate today. Right now, rather. First pitch is in there. Strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Outside and low. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Five walks and 9 strikeouts for Hunter Brown today. That pitch is low and outside in the dirt for ball one. Rodgers actually restrains himself on that one. 25 people following along. Thanks for being here. That one's fouled back at the plate. The count remains 1-2. It's unclear who the Astros are going to have up in the bottom of the 7th. Next pitch is in the dirt also. 2 balls and 2 strikes. King might be able to come in and pitch, but Dubin is warming up in the bullpen, actually. Seems like he might be able to be in for the bottom of the 7th for the Astros. Here's the next pitch. Way outside. Rodgers goes after it. Nowhere near hittable. Another strikeout for Rodgers. His struggling continues. There's that infield hit by Pena for the first run of the game. Here's the first pitch to Pena. 83-mile-an-hour slider right in there for strike one. Here comes the next toss. Pena chops this to second, or rather to shortstop. Throws him out for the final out of the inning. 3 up and 3 down. The Astros don't do anything that inning. Looks like Okert's going to be back out on the mound. Steven Okert comes up out of the dugout and runs out to the mound. So even though Dubin was warming up in the bullpen, it looks like they're going to give Okert another opportunity to come out and keep it going. And keep Dubin warming up and just have him ready to go. Bottom of the 7th coming up in just a moment, guys. Brown too many pitches, but great job, Jordan. Yeah, I agree. I didn't have a big problem with the pitch count, but whenever your pitch count gets to 87 and you're struggling with control and you're only up 3-0, it's time to come out. It's obvious. This is baseball 101. Everybody knows that. How can Espada not know that? It should never have gotten to bases loaded. Actually, the score shouldn't have even been 3-1 when Brown was taken out. He should have been taken out before that. Whether he wanted to stay in the game or not doesn't matter if the control isn't there and your pitch count is a little high. He should have been taken out. So the Astros, and especially Espada, got lucky that Okert came in and shut it down. It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. Jordan says Sampson wasn't good until bases loaded. It's a good time to be good, right? Chris Sampson. It was funny he became one of our best pitchers. Yeah, Brandon Walter. Brandon Walter pitching tomorrow. That's right. They didn't announce it until just recently. I haven't been able to make a new thumbnail for it. Stephen Kwan is at the plate. First pitch to him is a little high. That's the first ball thrown by Okert. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch on the outside edge. The slider. Couple of singles today for Kwan. The 1-1 pitch on the way. In the dirt there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jordan says we were going to make him our closer, but he was too valuable putting out fire, as it was when we had the 7, 8, 9 shutdown pitchers. Gotcha. Sergio says, let's not push our luck with Steven Okert. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens, but he's doing well right now. Woo. Little high and inside on that one. Ball 3. 3-1. Don't walk Kwan. Got to get this out. This is an important guy to get out. Here comes the 3-1 from Okert. Too far inside. Ball 4. 4 balls, 1 strike. Okert is on base with no outs. Yep. And now Espada comes out immediately. He lets Okert stay in long enough to walk the first batter. I don't even understand why he let him come out. It's not that he was going to be doing badly. I guess it's because they wanted him to pitch against Kwan. But it didn't work out, did it? Espada making all the wrong decisions right now. Okert just happened to bail him out last inning. But you can't go all in every single time and be right. You're going to get burned and lose it. Jordan says, I have doubts Pena was safe anyway. I've watched it many times. My eyes aren't fast enough for you guys. Jordan says, I've never heard of Brandon Walter before. If he shuts them down tomorrow, everyone gonna be crying. Yeah. Yeah, let's see if we can take a look. At Brandon Walter's info. Walter has pitched before. He's been a minor league pitcher. That's funny. He's my height. He outweighs me, but he's my height. Five strikeouts, ERA 0. That's good, but that's pretty much all the info that we have about him. There's not much else to share. He's given up 3 hits in 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, no runs. So that's the important thing. I don't care about these other numbers. All I care about is how many runs He gives up. He hasn't given up any. Fine by me. Me likey. 7:14 in the morning. I'm quite happy right now. Astros keep it locked down. Sean Dubin is on the mound. Whoops. I didn't realize I still had the screen on. The preview screen on. Don't want to have to clip out another piece of my video for a copyright infringement. Angel Martinez comes to the plate. A switch hitter. He's batting lefty against Dubin. Against Dubin. Can you imagine Mauricio Dubin pitching today? That looked like a strike, but called a ball in the bottom of the zone. 1-0 is the count. Next pitch from Dubin coming in just a moment. Here's the toss. Fouled off. 1-1. The fastball. Jordan says, how do the Astros do it with the pitchers? Cheaters. Yeah, it's the trash cans, bro. The pitchers use the trash cans as their backup weapon. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ooh, in the dirt. A swing and miss. Martinez goes golfing. Trying to get out of the sand trap. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dubin gets a new ball, rubs it up, gives it a little love. What are you Dubin? Looks like Bennett Sousa is warming up in the bullpen for the Stros. Here's the next pitch. Fouled down the first base side, off of the bullpen. Count remains 1-2. 26 people following along. It looks like the live stream has consistently had around 26 people today. That's good. 25 likes, 5 more to go to get to 30. I'm not sure I'm going to get there, but it'd be nice. We'll see. Here's the pitch, low and inside, ball 2. 2-2. Come on, Dubin. Dubin. Here comes the toss. Little half swing, fouls it off. Count remains 2-2. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. I think it's obvious. Most everybody thinks we need bats. I agree. We are in need of the bats. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just a little too far inside. That'll be a full count. That's what we call a full count. 7 pitches now for Dubin against the leadoff batter, Angel Martinez. Martinez. Here comes the pitch. That one's hit into left field. It should be playable. And it is. Altuve grabs it, puts it away. Out number 1. Easy fly ball. Runner on first base. 1 away. Okert walked 1 guy, walked Kwan. Jose Ramirez is now at the plate with 1 out, 1 runner on. Strike 1. 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Dubin about to deliver his 10th pitch of the inning. Outside by a good foot. 1-1. Jordan says, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it also. Astros win today. It'll be nice to see him have a chance to sweep the Guardians, you know. That'd be kind of cool. That would be a great win for him. High and outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Can you guys imagine if Brandon Walter gets a win tomorrow? That would be his first MLB win, I believe. Colton Gordon got his first one yesterday. Can you imagine tacking 2 of those on the Guardians? They'd lose a lot of face. Outside check swing, but he holds up. 3-1. Dubin falls behind in the count to Jose Ramirez. Jordan says Sousa. It's a close game. Yeah, it's Sousa in a close game. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Kind of dangerous. Here comes the 3-1 pitch from Dubin. That's in there and crushed out to right field. Is that gone? Are you kidding me? Home run. Game is tied. Dubin gave up the home run on a 3-1 pitch. It's a hitter's pitch. You got to know that. Well, there goes Hunter Brown's win. I told you guys, when you're rolling the dice like Espada has been, and you just keep going all in, and you keep pushing the envelope, it's going to come back and bite you eventually, and it just did. That's on Joe Espada right there, 100%. 100% on Joe Espada. 1 out now with no runners on. The game is tied 3-3. Astros got more work to do. Next one is hit directly to center field by Kyle Bonzardo, and that's out number 2. Thank you, Joe Espada. I blame you for that. That's all you, baby. I'm laying that at your feet. We were enjoying a 3-0 lead, and now it's 3-3, and it's all on you. Here comes the next pitch. This one's hit high into right center field. Myers has to rush over and grab it, but he's able to put it away. So after the 2-run home run, Dubin gets 2 back-to-back flyouts. But the Astros are no longer in the lead. Hunter Brown is not going to have a victory today. He will have a no decision. How do you like that, guys? We don't even need Sousa. We don't have to worry about Sousa, Jordan. We have Joe Espada to worry about. Pena and Myers have been doing really well. The other guys get going. Yeah, it'd be nice. Don't count us out yet. Well, nope. But Sergio says my prediction of a 3-2 win just flew out of the ballpark. Yeah, literally. Jordan says I'm not good with Dubin or Sousa. Dubin is hit or miss. I like Dubin, but sometimes he just lets you down. Just enough. Just enough. Dubin doesn't usually have big blow-up innings, but stuff like that, I don't think he's the best guy to come in when we're up just by 2. But then again, like I said, I'm placing the blame at the feet of Joe Espada. He should have pulled Hunter Brown out earlier, before it was 3-1. When it was still 3-0, Hunter Brown should have come out. And I believe that if that had happened right now, it could be 3-0 still. But it's not. And that's a coaching mistake. Top of the 8th coming up. Isaac Paredes due up, followed by Jose Altuve and Christian Walker. So we have 3 very capable batters coming to the plate in just a moment. Jordan says, I see us scoring 4 more runs. Hopefully. There is no hope. There is only do or do not. Do score. Astros do score. Sergio says Sousa has been fairly dependable. Yeah, so Sousa has been better recently. He struggled a little bit early on, but he's been better. Cade Smith is now on the mound for the Guardians. He's facing Isaac Paredes. Takes that first pitch for strike 1. Here comes the next toss. Right in the zone. 86 mile per hour Swiffer. Quickly 0-2. Paredes no longer has the shades on. I guess it's not as bright as it was before. The sun appears to have gone down over the stadium. 3-3. 0-2 is the count. Little low and outside. Just barely misses that corner. 98 miles an hour on that fastball. 1-2. One and two pitch fouled back. Another fastball, 99 miles an hour. One ball, two strikes to Isak the ball. Here's the pitch. Low and outside on the Swiffer. The count's even, 2-2. Paredes is 0 for 3 today. Now would be the time for a big hit. Here comes the pitch. He hits that one straight up and out of play. Another 99 mile an hour fastball. Jordan says at least Fried Ogre didn't give up a salami. Yeah. Sergio says Ogre makes me nervous. I would say Ogre is pretty dependable. He makes me less nervous than Sosa. Overall. Jordan says Brown was tired, not good when the guy is a power pitcher. Yeah, he was obviously not in control. Looks like he broke his bat. Yep, he did. Another. He didn't accept a bat from those guys. He went all the way in there to get his own bat. Again, we see the stroll into the... At least he didn't walk all the way down to the end of the dugout and take his time. He just went in there and grabbed one right quick and came right back out. Much more considerate of the timing of the game than some of the other batters I've seen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Line drive, just foul. Count remains 2-2 to Paredes. Hunter Brown didn't have a tremendous amount of control this whole game. It just got worse at the end. 87 miles an hour off the plate, full count. The Swiffer missing outside. 10 pitches now for Smith coming with this next one. A good at bat by Paredes, making him work. That one's in the middle of the zone. This is driven out to center field. Should be playable. It is. One away. Paredes flies out. My hero comes up to the plate. Jose looking for his first hit of the day. Currently over 3. Let's see if we can see a little Altuve magic. Here's the first pitch. He goes after the first one off the plate. Missing the Swiffer. Oh, 1 pitch on the way. In the dirt and outside. Count is even, 1-1. Next pitch from Smith on the way. Right in there, 98 miles an hour. Altuve taking it right down the middle, basically. 1 ball and 2 strikes. All right, now you've seen the fastball, Altuve. You've seen the breaking pitch. You've seen the Swiffer. You can handle it. Here comes the 1-2. Way outside, 98 miles an hour. Catcher misses it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Altuve. Let's get that lead back. Here comes the pitch. He grounds that one to the right side. He shatters his bat. But that's caught in the air. Thought it was a ground ball. Apparently it was a kind of a line drive pop. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Altuve line slash flies out with the broken bat to the first baseman. So 2 away. Walker at the plate. First pitch. Wow, 97 low and away, but called a strike on that lower outside corner. 0-1. Walker does have a rip off that left field wall off the top. He could do it again, but not with that swing. 98 up and in, strike 2. Come on, man. This is our next to last opportunity to get that lead back. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Walker. He hits this one out into right field all the way to the wall. It's back, and caught right at the wall. Are you kidding me? Just about 6 or 7 feet short of the wall. I mean, short of the top of the wall. Almost another for Walker, opposite field. So close. 3 up and 3 down for the Astros in the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Tied up 3-3. Yeah, I was sitting here debating about whether or not I was going to go and get breakfast or brunch, rather, after this. Well, I guess it is breakfast considering the time of day. It's 7:30 in the morning right now. When this game is over, probably be before 8 o'clock, unless it goes extra innings. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'll be here. So it could turn into brunch. But I was debating about whether or not to go. If I was in a really good mood, the Astros win. You know, I was thinking about just trying to stick around here, do a little bit of cooking. I don't really have much here. I have a couple of pieces of sausage left and some eggs. I have plenty of eggs, and I can make some more coffee if I want. I've got a little bit of almond milk, and that I could just finish doing some cleaning and work around the house. Or, because it's Sunday here in Japan, I could take a little break this morning, drive to town, take a nice hot shower at the Net Cafe, have a really nice breakfast or brunch at the cafe, and relax, and then come back and get some stuff done here at the house. Kind of depends on the mood that I am in after this game. Sean Dubin is still in, guys. So even though Sousa is warming up, we have more Dubin. First pitch is a strike in the upper outer corner. Another Swiffer. Facing Gabriel Arias. Little tapper into center field. Myers is right there, out number 1. 1 away. Jordan says, if you copyright Swiffer, you'd be a millionaire. I would like to get sponsored by Swiffer. That would be great. Yeah, I thought it was a home run too, Jordan. It was hit really well. Mark said I had my coconut shrimp last night. Coconut shrimp sounds good. I haven't had shrimp in a long time. All right. Bo Naylor is at the plate. That first pitch is on the outside edge for strike 1. Here comes the next pitch from Dubin. In the dirt and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jordan says, what do they eat for breakfast in Japan? That's a good question. They eat a lot of stuff for breakfast. But a lot of East Asians, even Japanese, they love rice all the time. Strike 2 right in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Naylor. So they often have rice with every meal. A lot of Japanese have a little bit of rice with every meal. Not as the main thing, but part of the meal. That almost hit him in the feet. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dubin is tied up in the count. But there are a variety of things you can have for breakfast in Japan. If you go to the family cafe. The family cafe here, they have a combination of things, Western foods and Japanese style, and even Chinese style. Pena there for the ground ball straight up the middle. Naylor is thrown out for out number 2. 2 away. The quiet inning so far that we needed last inning. But they also like a little fish, a little like fried fish, little pieces of. The traditional Japanese breakfast has many little things, different vegetables and some fish. You almost always have some fish, maybe some tofu items. Here comes the pitch. Check swing, did he go? It looks like he did. He did. Strike 1. The fastball getting him to go around. This is Johnsky Noel pinch hitting at the plate. Here's the pitch. Ground ball right to Walker, who scoops it up and walks it over himself. 1-2-3 inning for Sean Dubin. He gets that inning done, no problem. This was his good inning. Last inning was his, well, you know, inning. Top of the 9th coming up, the Astros. Last opportunity to take the lead back before we go into extra innings. 5 hits for both teams, 3 runs for both teams. No errors. We are completely even. 3-3 this game. Mark said he was going for seafood yesterday. Blue water seafood. Sergio says stretching out our relievers is now starting to sound like a good idea in case we go into extra innings. Yeah, but they shouldn't have stretched out. The reason that we are in this position, Sergio, is because Espada made a terrible decision to leave Hunter Brown in the game. We shouldn't even be going into extra innings. We shouldn't need to have pitchers for extra innings. Jordan says, where is it? Nashville? Oh, you're talking about... okay, you guys are talking about a seafood place or something. Captain Benny's. Captain Benny's? Jordan says overtime. Overtime? You mean extra innings? There's no overtime. Just extra innings. There's no time in baseball, unless you're talking about the pitch clock. The pitch clock, the batter's clock, etc. I'd rather get the win, even if it takes extra innings, but my preference is to not even need extra innings. New pitcher for the Guardians, Emmanuel Klaus. Classe is how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry. I had it wrong. Classe. Victor Caratini comes to the plate. He will be the first batter to face Classe here in the 9th inning, the top of the 9th. Classe is a right-hander. Caratini batting lefty. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt. Big bouncer in the dirt. Ball 1. Classe has a big arm. Not a lot of control, perhaps, but he can throw the ball really hard. Here comes the next pitch. 99 right in the middle of the plate. Fouled off at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's see if the Batman can tame the big arm. 1-1. Caratini looking for his first hit today. That was a good pitch to go after, but he let it go. 88-mile-an-hour slider on the outside edge. 1-2. He calls timeout. Thinks about his tool belt. What you gonna do, Caratini? Here comes the 1 and 2. Ground ball opposite field, backhanded by the shortstop. He tosses it over. Good play. Unfortunately, man, opposite field. I was hoping that he would get that ball through, but backhanded by the shortstop, and good throw to first base. One away. That brings up Yainer Diaz. Yainer Diaz has a 2-run homer for the Astros today. If he hits another one here, he could be the hero. Big time hero today. First pitch from Clace. 100 miles an hour, high and inside, ball 1. Clace, I think. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Diaz. 99 right in there, and he fouls it off. Yainer Diaz getting the bat around a lot better on those than he used to. He struggled with that so much last year. Couldn't get around on those fastballs. They've actually got Josh Hader warming up in the bullpen right now. They're hoping for a lead here, I guess. 89 miles an hour on the top of the zone. Fouled off again. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Diaz. Come on, Yainer. Here's the next pitch from Clace. In the dirt. Breaking ball. Good take by Yainer. Didn't go after that one. The slider. With the bottom falling out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Today's your day, Yainer. Today's Yainer day. Up the middle, that's going to be a line drive out to the center fielder. Nice solid strike, but just in the wrong spot of the field. Out number 2. Diaz is retired. 2 up and 2 down, but guess who's at the plate? Jake the Snake, Jake the Rake. He ain't no fake. How about a Jake Myers home run? I want to win this game with Jake Myers. Come on. Fouls it off. 91 mile per hour slider. 0-1. I'm happy with a Jake Myers. Jake Myers home run to win the game. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ooh, 89 miles an hour slider. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Astros, Galleria, Raging Cajun. My only reason is to go to Houston. He says, yeah, I wasn't sure about Nashville Seafood. 0-2 to Myers. Here's the pitch from Clace. In the dirt. Ball 1, 1-2. Jordan says, I moved to Knoxville so I could still watch the Oilers for free every week. Jordan, I gave up whenever the Oilers left and became the Titans. I was crushed. Just a little low. That was below the strike zone. Called strike 3. 99 miles an hour. Unbelievable. Can you believe that? Look at that. Completely out of the zone. And called strike 3. Myers goes down. The Astros get nothing in the top of the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th. So the big question is, are the Guardians going to walk it off? Or are the Astros going to put it into extra innings? Jordan says, I like the Texans too, but stupid names stolen from Dallas. The uniforms are the best in the NFL. Jordan, I think I agree also. It's stupid to call yourself the Texans. It's just stupid to me. It doesn't make any sense. I also don't like that the Rangers call themselves the Texas Rangers. I think that's also stupid. So there's another team called the Houston Astros, and they're in Texas, and you call yourself Texas, your team Texas. I think that's stupid. Calling yourself after the whole state is stupid. And calling yourself Texans when there are other teams in Texas is also stupid. I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to build up pride. They're trying to take people's pride in being Texans. But I just find it stupid. Be a little more local, I think. Be a little more local. I know that there were legal reasons they couldn't keep the Oiler name, but my problem was that I grew up from the time I was a little boy until the time they left. I was an Oiler fan. And when the Oilers left, my heart was broken because that was my number one sport. That was my number one team. And I started disliking the NFL after that. Don't care. Stopped watching. Stopped caring about the NFL. I started watching the LSU Tigers play, college football. But I would say also that I've started to care a little less and less about that over the years. I also stopped caring about NBA because everything that happens in the NBA is arbitrary. They don't call, when people are carrying the ball or walking or shifting their pivot feet, traveling, they don't call any of those things. Everybody does it, nobody calls it. And when they do call it, it's arbitrary, it's just random. Hater's first pitch is a strike, a swing and a miss by Will Wilson. 0-1 is the count. Also, fouls are arbitrary. Sometimes nobody touches the guy and they call a foul, and other times he gets clobbered and they don't call it. It doesn't make any sense. Next pitch is a little out of the zone for ball one. The count's even, 1-1. Come on, Hater. Here's the next toss. Swing and a miss. Good slider there. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Wilson. Jordan says, I'm an Astro, Rockets, and Oilers fan. Oilers don't exist anymore. Not to me. This ball is hit all the way down into the left corner, but foul. Count remains 1-2. Oilers are gone. If the Texans were able to get the name back and change their name back to the Oilers, I would definitely become a fan again, for sure. I would. It matters to me that they are the Oilers in Houston. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now to Will Wilson. Here comes the next toss from Hater. In the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, this is the number 9 hitter at the plate right now. You don't want to put him on. Stop playing around and give him a strike. Here comes the pitch. That one's inside, fouled off. Remains 3-2. Serve him some Haterade. In Knoxville, they hate the Titans. It's not homegrown. I don't like the Titans either. I like the Houston Oilers. Strike 3. He serves up some Haterade. Will Wilson finally gets the strikeout after working the count full. Nice slider. 1 away, and the next batter is the top of the batting order, Stephen Kwan. First pitch on the way. He bunts it to the first base, or third base side rather, but foul. Strike 1. Strike 1. Yes, I like saying that. 0-1 is the count. Sergio says Bud Adams. Yeah, I know all about that. He wouldn't allow them to use the name. There was a lot of nonsense all around, but at the end of the day, nobody cared about the fans. Nobody cared about the fans in the city. This is popped to the left side. Altuve's rushing in, and he slides. He can't make it. Is that fair? That's a fair ball. Or is it foul? No, it is fair. Altuve couldn't get to it. He tried to get to it. He slid and he couldn't make the catch. Why didn't he dive for it? I don't quite understand that. Man. I wish Altuve had dove for that. You can't slide on that one. If you can't get to it, you got to dive, right? You got to lay out like Melton did. Well, that's a hit. Runner on second, Angel Martinez comes to the plate with a runner in scoring position. The winning run on second base. Guardians trying to walk this off against the Astros here. Kind of confused as to why you would slide on that one. If you had plenty of room, you're in the grass, and you know that a slide is not going to get you under the ball. Why didn't you dive? Kind of confused about that. A little disappointed in Altuve. Hader now has a runner on second with one out. The winning run represented on that second base bag. First pitch to Angel Martinez is on the way. He's showing bunt. Should have been a strike. Call a ball on the edge of the plate. 1-0. Jordan says, I blame Houston for letting the Oilers. I blame everybody. I blame everybody for not caring about the fans. Too far inside, ball two. 96 mile an hour slider. Oh, look at that. A whiff at that slider. Let's take. They're showing the fly ball again. Yeah, he should have dove for it. Not going to be able to get it with the slide. Next pitch, a little outside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Angel Martinez. Jose Ramirez on deck. 28 people watching right now. Thanks for being here. It's a nail biter right now. Fouled off. Full count. The 96 mile an hour sinker fouled away. Brendan says, why is the heart raised this year? Yeah, the heart rate is up, right? Hard to watch basketball. My dog loves it all, the running. Yeah, I'd imagine. Dogs love that. Ball 4 in the dirt. Pitch in the dirt. Runners on first and second. Jose Ramirez comes to the plate with 1 out, 2 runners on. Yeah, that's right. They're showing a spot. He's got a grin on his face over there. Yeah, it's your fault. I blame you for this situation right now. Instead of Hader being on the mound with a 3-0 lead, he's on the mound. This game tied 3-3. 1 away, runners on first and second. Here's the first pitch to Jose Ramirez. Swing and a miss, 86 mile per hour sinker. Ramirez batting .389 with runners in scoring position this year. Make sure you like the live stream at least, guys, if you haven't already. Popped behind home plate. Diaz is underneath it, and he gets it. Awesome. Big out right there. Jose Ramirez fouls out to the catcher, Yiner. He goes back to the dugout. Big out for the Stros. Kyle Manzardo will not be batting. They're bringing in a pinch hitter, Carlos Santana. All right, guys. Josh Miller, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a little chit-chat with Yiner Diaz and Josh Hader about this hitter. Let's go back to the live chat for a moment. Jordan says to me, always the Oilers. I hate Houston. Mark says, I met Dan Pastorini, said Houston had great fans. The team will never have any other players in Hall of Fame because of the owner. No respect for the team. Yeah, they broke my heart. I left all that behind. The whole NFL, the whole of the NFL I left behind. I don't give one flip about the NFL anymore. It's all trash. It's just a sport. It's not a sports league. It's entertainment. It's like pro wrestling. It's pro wrestling. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one to Santana. 2 outs, 2 runners on, first and second. 0-1 is the count here in the bottom of the ninth. Hader on the mound facing Carlos Santana, the pinch hitter. Swing and a miss, or I'm sorry, a foul tip. Same result. Strike two. 0-2 is the count. Oh, and 2 pitch from Hader on the way. Ooh, just barely missed outside by a couple of inches. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Crowd went really quiet on that one. That was right there. Very close. One ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the next toss. Tapped foul. Count remains 1-2. Do you guys like the, was it Earl Campbell that has the hot links? Earl Campbell hot links? I haven't thought about those in years. Good old Earl Campbell sausage. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. Santana trying to get the bat on the ball, but Hader refusing to give in. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The count remains. Hader up to 23 pitches. We definitely won't be seeing Hader in the 10th if he gets to it. He steps off the mound. The crowd boos. Are you really going to boo a pitcher for taking a little break right here? Here's the pitch. Strike 3 in the dirt. Hader gets out of the jam. He creates a jam and gets out of a jam. We're going to go into the 10th inning, guys. Astros have another chance. Thank goodness. A little bit of Haterade. It took a while to get there. It took him a while to mix it. But finally, he makes a batch of Haterade for Carlos Santana. Oh my gosh. The Astros. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to us? Somebody go over there and slap Joe Espada. Oh my gosh. Jordan, I was a big Warren Moon guy. I loved me some Warren Moon. Now when I think of the Oilers, hands down, my 2 favorite players. Number 1, I mean, Earl Campbell, of course, was amazing. But he was a little before my time, really, because I was born in 75. So I wasn't able to be there for his heyday. But there's one running back. I wonder if you guys can remember. Everybody knows Lorenzo White. Lorenzo White was with the Oilers and was a main guy for a while. But do any of you remember Gary Brown? Gary Brown came on as a backup. I think it was Lorenzo White that was not able to play. And Brown, in less than a season, he basically had around 1,000 rushing yards, just really was blowing it up. And I thought, man, this guy's going to be big. He's going to be so amazing. Gary Brown was just freaking awesome. And after that, he just kind of disappeared. I don't know what happened. I think he needed to lose a little weight, but I don't know what happened to him. Gary Brown just came out of nowhere, and he was just awesome. And then he was gone. But besides him, my favorite has always been Warren Moon. Loved me some Warren Moon. Warren Moon to me was like Jose Altuve. Just a great personality, good sportsmanship, good talent, all around, good guy. Hunter Gaddis is on the mound for the Guardians. Dubon is showing bunt. Myers is on second for the Astros since it's extra innings. Ball 1. One and 0 is the count to Dubon. You guys know the rules in extra innings. Each team gets a runner on second. They throw to second, but Myers gets back no problem. I need to change the pitcher's name here. Hunter Gaddis. Hunter Gaddis. There we go. Dubon showing bunt again. Here comes the pitch. Pops it in the air. Is it going to be caught? Yes, the catcher gets it. Good job, Dubon. He flies out on the bunt. Are you kidding me? One away. He just stands there like, are you kidding me? Then he remembers, oh yeah, I need to run. Jacob Melton is pinch hitting for Brendan Rodgers. Opportunity for Melton to be a hero, right? Here comes the pitch. Long delay by Gaddis. 78 right in there. Why are you not swinging at that? A 78 mile per hour changeup? Strike 1. Not quite sure what's going on there. Myers still on second base, one away. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Melton. Low and inside, ball 1. One ball, one strike to Melton. Here's the pitch. Woo! Just barely misses, high and outside. Misses that upper outer corner. Sousa is warming up again out in the bullpen. 2-1 is the count to Melton. A lefty batting against the right-handed pitcher, Hunter Gaddis. Here comes the next toss. Inside and low, ball 3. Jeremy Pena on deck. The Flash is on deck. 3-1 pitch to Melton. High and outside. Ball 4. We get a walk. 2 runners on now with 1 out. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate. We got 3 fast guys on the field right now. Myers is fast, Melton is fast, and Pena is fast. We got 3 fast guys. Anything can happen right here. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, ball 1. Gaddis having a little bit of control issues here, it looks like. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. Runners on first and second. Here comes the pitch. Pena taps it to the right side. It's going to be playable by the first baseman. But the runners do advance to second and third. 2 outs. I'm not sure why Pena slowed down there. Isak Paredes comes to the plate. Don't need much. Paredes has faced Gaddis just 3 times in his career. He's 0 for 3. Let's make it 1 for 4. Here comes the first toss. Hit hard. Is it going to be playable? It looks like it's going to go out of play. Whew. Strike one. Jordan says, I bought a house so I can still watch the Oilers, but everyone hates them. Yeah, imagine Warren Moon drafted to the Oilers. We would have been a few ESPYs, and the Oilers might still be, yeah, a few Super Bowls might still be in Houston. Absolutely. They should have been in the Super Bowl the year that they played the Bills. That was a debacle, wasn't it? Broke my heart. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Paredes. Right in there, 90 miles an hour. Whew. Slider in the middle of the plate. The count is 0-2. We need to finally score with runners in scoring position. That's right. All we need is a simple hit right here, but Paredes calls timeout, takes a little breaky break. Now he's got himself gathered for the big hit. It's almost a walk-off opportunity. It's definitely a lead-taking opportunity. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Count remains 0-2. Six hits for the Guardians, 5 for the Stros. The game's still tied at 3. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Paredes. Fouls it off again. 90 miles an hour on the slider. Come on, sock that ball. Let's get those 3 runs back. I want to get those 3 runs back. I want to see Astros 6, Guardians 3. Here comes the 0-2. In the dirt. It's going to get away. Is that going to score a run? Yes, it will. Wild pitch, guys. Myers scores on the wild pitch, and we have a runner on third base. This inning isn't over yet. The Astros retake the lead on the wild pitch in the dirt. An 0-2 wild pitch. Terrible wild pitch thrown into the batter's box on the left side, and no chance for them to even make a play at home plate. Myers easily scores. 4-3 Astros. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Paredes with a runner on third. Here comes the pitch. High, ball 2. 2-2. Paredes still with an opportunity to get us more RBIs. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Paredes with an opposite field hit. Yes! Yes! A hit and an RBI for Paredes. 2 more runs for the Astros. 4-2. Opposite field single by Paredes. The Astros go back up. 5-3. 5-3. 96-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle, opposite field, almost into the corner. Melton scores easily. Altuve comes to the plate with Paredes at first. He's not able to get his hit streak going. He flies out again to right field. He puts it away. That's out number 3. So Altuve's hit streak is done. But Paredes gets the Astros. He comes through and he scores an RBI for the Astros. The wild pitch tacks on 1. But heck yes, the Astros take the lead 5-3 in the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Daniel Schneemann is due up if there's no batting change. Isak came through, Sergio. Yes, he did. Did he not? Yes, he did. He did indeed. He hit it when it counted most. Jordan says we should get 2 more here. Well, we got 2 runs in the 10th. 5-3 right now as it stands, going into the bottom of the 10th. The Guardians due up. The Astros and the Guardians both have 6 hits. But the difference is that the Astros have 5 runs. I wonder if the Astros are going to get the win. If I'm sorry, if Hater is going to get the win for today. You know, if they ask Hater to pitch right now, I'm going to be a little surprised because he's around 25 pitches, I think. I'll be a little surprised. 28 likes on the live stream. Thanks, guys. 2 more to get to 30. If you can give me 2 more, I would greatly appreciate that. 31 people following right now. Thanks for being here. I was getting a little concerned about this game. Check this out. Since May 15th, Astros are up to 60%. Runs scored with 2 outs. 60%. Okay, Bennett Sousa is in the game. Not surprised. First pitch is on the way. Little check swing. Did he go? Looks like he did not go. That'll be ball 1 against Daniel Schneemann. One ball and no strikes in the bottom of the 10th. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 86 miles an hour on that slider. 1-1 is the count. Of course, the Guardians get their obligatory runner on second base. Here's the pitch. Little high and outside, just barely misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Come on, Sousa, you can do it. You can do it. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. 87 miles an hour, low and inside. The slider scooting by. Sliding by, if you will, Mr. Schneemann. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Sousa gets a strikeout. 1 away. Schneemann goes down on the whiff. Nice toss. Next batter is Gabriel Arias. First pitch on the way. Fouls off that first pitch. 97 mile per hour fastball. 0-1. There comes the 0-1 pitch. Hit high in the air in the infield. Pena is over. Dubon is underneath it. Dubon takes it. All right, I thought Pena was going to take it there for a second, but he let Dubon take it. That's not common. Usually Pena takes charge of that, but he backed off and he let Dubon have it. Doobie puts it away. Big out. Fly ball in the infield. Unbelievably, the Astros hitting, the timely hitting and the wild pitch, pulling Espada's butt out of the fire today. Strike 1 to Naylor. 86 mile an hour slider from Sousa. Here comes the 0-1. A little too high. 96 mile per hour fastball. 1-1 is the count with 2 outs. Runner on second. No, Abreu has pitched too much recently, so they gave him a break. So has King. King is not available. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 strike away from winning this game, guys. Bennett Sousa rubbing up the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. Come on, Sousa. I want to do this awesome game recap, do a preview for tomorrow, and get out of here. Here's the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, 86 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's rubbing up a new ball. Sergio says, I didn't want Hater to pitch the 9th without a lead. It was too soon. Yeah, I think it was a strange call, but luckily it worked out. High and inside. Ball 3. Full count. Come on, Sousa. Come on, Sousa. They keep showing Espada in the dugout. Yeah, your butt is on the line right here. Caleb Bort is warming up in the bullpen. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Bo Naylor. Strike 3? No! Are you kidding me? That was strike 3 and called a ball. That ball was 100% in the zone and called a ball. 86 miles an hour slider right in the zone. Look at this. So that's a strike. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Josh Miller comes out to have a little chit-chat with Sousa and Diaz. Man, that gave me a headache right there. This umpire, I kid you not. I kid you not. What a terrible call. Just cost the Astros. Jordan says, I wanted to use the F sign, but we're civilized here. Yes, that's right. Yes, and Ed, I agree with you. Too bad Brown doesn't get the win. It's unfortunate, but it's all on Espada. It's Espada's fault for not pulling him out earlier. Johnsky Noel is back at the plate with runners on first and second. Here comes the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. 87 mile per hour slider. Come on, Sousa. Keep it together. 15th pitch of the inning for Sousa. That's in there, but fouled back. Strike 1. 94 mile an hour fastball. 1-1. Yeah, they're showing you where that ball was. The one that the umpire called a ball. Almost 100% in the zone. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch to Noel. Grounded foul into his own team's dugout. Trying to take out his teammates. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sousa gets ahead in the count. He calls a little timeout. Noel wants to think about his strikeout that's incoming from Sousa. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. First and second here in the bottom of the 10th. Astros up by 2 runs. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. Looks like that went off the mask of Diaz. Count remains 1-2. Yes, Susan, you're right. It was absolutely terrible. Should have been over. Game should be over right now. Maybe Sousa will come back and get it anyway. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Noel. He's got him. Strike 3. Swinging in the dirt. Sousa comes back without the help of the umpire. Gets the swing and the miss. The Astros win 5-3. Heck yes. Good job, Bennett Sousa, to get out of that. That was not on you. That was on the umpire. So despite some mistakes and questionable calls by not only the umpire, but Joe Espada, the Astros manager, the Astros managed to squeak out a win. But my gosh, whew, goodness gracious, what in the world was going on in this game? Glad that they got the win, but very sad that Hunter Brown did not get that win. 31 likes today, guys. 44 watching. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to do a really quick recap of this game, a little scoring summary. Let me show you the screen here. We're going to take a look at the scoring summary of this game, a little bit of information about what happened. Of course, as you can see, let me move that around right there. The Astros win 5-3 in 10. In 10 innings. As predicted by me, Hater gets the win. He pitched 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, got 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Gaddis gets the loss. None of that really matters too much. What matters is that the Astros came back and won it in 10 innings. Sousa gets the save. 1 inning pitched, no hits. 1 walk, thanks to the umpire. Should have been a strikeout. But let's take a look at the scoring summary here on the screen. And it took 5 innings for somebody to get on the board. The Flash, Jeremy Pena, reached on an infield single. If you guys haven't seen that, I recommend you go back and watch it. It was pretty awesome. He scored on the infield single. And then, he got the infield single. Diaz scored 1-0 Astros. In the top of the 6th, the Astros scored again when Diaz homered to left. Caratini was on base, 3-0 Astros. Going into the bottom of the 6th, the Astros gave up their lead, where they gave up their 3-run lead. Hunter Brown was looking pretty tired. Espada left him in. He gave up a run and then loaded the bases. It was 3-1 at that time because Arias singled to left, scoring Ramirez. 3-1 Astros. Luckily, Stephen Okert came in and shut it down. He had bases loaded with 1 out, and he struck out 2 batters with 6 pitches. It was awesome. In the bottom of the 7th, Dubin came in and was pitching. Sean Dubin unfortunately gave up a 2-run homer to Ramirez, scoring Kwan and tying up the game 3-3, and that would take away Hunter Brown's chance at getting a win. In the top of the 10th, Myers scored on a wild pitch by Gaddis. The Astros took the lead 4-3, and then Paredes singled to right field, scoring Melton. Astros up 5-3, and then Sousa would come in and shut it out in the bottom of the 10th, giving the Astros the win. The performance today by Hunter Brown is right down here. 5.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 5 walks, 9 strikeouts. 101 pitches today for Hunter Brown. Way too many balls. His command wasn't great. He didn't even finish 6 innings. He should have actually come out before that. He was showing that he was losing control. He was tired, but Espada left him in there. But luckily, Okert came in and shut it down. Unfortunately, the Astros gave up 1 run, and then Dubin gave up 2. So the game came down to the wire. But the Astros have won the series with this win today, 5-3 over the Cleveland Guardians. And for a quick preview of tomorrow's game, let's go down here to the schedule. Brandon Walters, I believe, is on the mound for the Astros. We have a very new pitcher on the mound. There we go. The game time tomorrow, as you can see for me, is 2:40 in the morning, or in the middle of the night. I plan to be here. The only way I will not be here is if I'm just too tired or not feeling well, then I won't be here. But otherwise, I plan to be here. So I hope to see you guys at this game. Brandon Walter is on the mound facing Tanner Bibby. Tanner has a 3.89 ERA. He's 4-6 on the season. And it seems like he's definitely hittable. Innings pitched 69, 56. He's averaging less than 1 strikeout per inning, but he's averaging very close to 1 hit per inning and 23 walks. I think this is a guy that the Astros should be able to score on. We can sweep this series tomorrow. So let's hope that the Astros can do that. And let's see here. Let me get rid of that highlight window. 5-3, the Astros win this game. Let's take one more look at the live chat before I go. Caesar says, yeah. Fred says, another Astro victory for sure. Ray says, whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. Mark says, good deal. And thanks for the stream again. You're welcome, Mark. Jordan says, nice game. Overtime. Yeah. It was overtime for sure. Mark says, enjoy your breakfast. Thank you very much. I will do my best to do that. I'm sure that I will. And it's right on time, too. By the time I get there, they will be just open. The place that I like to go to, they open a little late at 9 o'clock. And that's 35 minutes away. So they'll be open right as I get there, I think. Brendan says, let's go, for sure. Sergio says, thanks, Brendan. Until tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your eating, Astros family. You too, Sergio. Thank you for being here. Jordan says, I'm so happy. Me too. Good job for everybody. Thank you so much. Good job, Stros, coming back. Paredes with the big hit. Hunter Brown with the challenging but solid effort. Overall, can't complain. They pull out the win. That's the most important thing, right? To get the win. But that's all for today. As usual, the last thing I will say is Geaux Stros, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Casey. Cheers. See you tomorrow.